Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Advancement Center and to the world of magic and miracles and beyond. I haven't been here in this chair in quite a while. It's nice to be back. Although these days, physical location seems to matter less and less as we are everywhere. We can be anywhere we like, even if we're just sitting in our chair. Travel the world, travel the universe. But it's nice to be in this home here on planet Earth, where the frequencies are just beautiful. The vibration is always just magic. And from here, we broadcast every week. And I have to say, this last broadcast yesterday with David was another feat to me. He just hit it out of the park once again. All of these broadcasts are this way. You think, oh my gosh, that was so amazing. And then the next one, it's better. And it blows your mind. It's just goes to a whole new level. And I felt a shift, and I don't even know if I'll have full words to describe it. But there was a distinct shift yesterday as he said with his words, but more than that, as he delivered with his transmission, a shift in humanity. And the part of me that is here in human form shifted. I felt it. For so many of us, we come here into physical form, and at least for me, and I think for many people it is, it's a very strange experience for a while until you find your family. Not necessarily your birth family, but your true family that you have traveled with, you have had many lifetimes with. And it takes some of us longer than others to reconnect with each other. And before we connect, there can be so many challenges here in this physical place. And we have to come back to our original selves. And as we join together with our family that we've perhaps been away from or even forgotten about, once we find each other and we see each other, and I think there's just only been a handful of times in my life before I actually came to be with my Advancement Center family that I felt truly seen by anyone here on planet Earth. And it's a scene that's a recognition. It's a scene that's the scene of the real you, the you that's so much more than this physical form, although is certainly encompassed in these physical forms and these personalities that we bring in, which always makes life so interesting because we're all so unique. But what I'm finding when I said at the beginning of this that I felt a shift, the shift was in coming to another level of comfort with myself. That feeling that, my goodness, I lived with for so many years. I didn't think about it. It was just there. Those feelings of, oh my goodness, I don't even want to get started. It will take me down a rabbit hole, but it's feelings of not enough, that you are not enough, to finally experiencing who you are, the vastness of it, the amazingness of it. And it's so much fun here because each and every one of us is experiencing this every day, every broadcast. We get to yet another level of ourselves. It's like the door, there was at first just a tiny little slit, and now this door is opening, and our essence is growing and beaming, and it's really quite incredible to experience. And as each one of us blossoms more and more into their own essence, it's what's the word? It's there's so many words that are coming in, but none of them are right. It's like when one person blossoms, it's like a flower. One blossoms, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. Because we're connected, and there's this beautiful harmony in this connection we all have. The blossoming just continues, and the colors get more spectacular. The scents, like the scent of a rose. You can even smell someone's being. It's amazing. Some smell like flowers. Everyone has their own essence. But it's beyond the physical senses. It's just this incredible blossoming is all I can say. I just see flowers opening. And how fitting for this particular year. Because after being here in this part of the world for the last 10 years, we've never had rains like we had this past winter. In fact, we're still getting water in June, which is unheard of in 10 years. And the plants, the flowers, the trees, even the animals, all part of the same connection of this planet Earth, are alive and happier than I've ever seen them. There's a couple of trees outside our window down the way. This beautiful view. We have trees up close. We have hills and trees in the background. And there's a couple of trees, maybe 100 feet from our window, that I can feel. I sit there and have my coffee in the morning, and I can feel these trees full of, and not just water. I mean, they have more water than, like I said, they've had in 10 years. But they're full of more. They're full of a life that is theirs, that has had a hard time coming through for quite a while. And it's back. And the trees actually get my attention as I'm just sitting there gazing out into nothing, because they're so alive and they're so happy. And I remember there's 3 relatively big trees in my vision, and one by one, they all have their own rate at which they're having their own experience of coming to this new life. because the one was always getting my attention, and then a second one started to get my attention, and then the third one is showing itself. And the flowers that are showing up here around this house that have not shown themselves for years, it's happening all over. But it's this beautiful connection because we are a part of planet Earth. As we're here in these physical forms, we are very much a part of this physical Earth, this beautiful planet that's full of magic and full of miracles by itself. And we bring our own, and then we feel each other, just as we humans feel each other as we're blossoming. The plants feel each other, and the plants and the humans feel each other, and the animals and the humans and the plants. It's an amazing, amazing feeling. And I know I've mentioned this before for those of you that have watched my broadcast before, that I have such an incredible connection with nature, and I have a park near my house, a couple blocks of beautiful park that when I get the chance, I go walk through, and the visiting, the visits I get with the animals and the plants is absolutely divine. And the last week, perhaps, I took a walk, and a young girl was jogging up behind me, and I was standing still, talking to a little bunny. The fact that you're bringing this life, the awareness of it, into another person's life, I felt it in her. It was something that she didn't expect. She probably had earbuds in, was in her own world, and suddenly she's in the world with me and this bunny in this beautiful place. And I felt the shift in her. There were no words. It was just this beautiful feeling. And as long as I can remember, I am this connection with the natural world. But whenever I get an opportunity to share my world with someone else, it brings me so much joy. And what's flashing back for me right now is a dear friend of my mother's, who she'd known most of her life. He's an artist, or he was an artist. He's left the planet now, but he lived in New York and was a painter. And he came out to visit us. And I remember taking him and my mother to the ocean up in Marin County, where I used to live. This incredible drive to this beautiful beach, more remote than many. It was called Lemon Tour. It's called Lemon Tour. It's absolutely amazing place because it's very untouched. And it was like I was bringing them to my home. I was introducing them to my world. As we're walking down the beach, alongside the ocean, the waves are very big. It's a bit rough there. But sea lions or seals, I don't know which, came. And it's been so long. There probably were more animals, more sea life, but animals came that you rarely actually see there. And we just had the most amazing experience, just this connection that you have. And for years later, every time my mother would speak to her friend, he would always talk about that day we spent together. it made such an impression. It changed his life in the most beautiful way. And the fact that I could give someone the gift of my world, of my experience, just brings me so much joy. It's one of the most joyful things of my life, is to be able to bring my joy to someone else. And it's something that they wouldn't have seen. And here we are. Here I am, sitting in front of this computer camera, speaking with you, sharing my world, my joys. Who would ever have thought? If you had told me a number of years ago I would be doing this, I would have said, you must be on something. There's no way I would ever sit in front of a camera and talk. And yet here we are. Thank you, Robert, for making this possible. It's incredible. I feel a freedom I've never felt. I feel a comfort in my own being here on physical planet Earth, this very strange place still to me in so many ways. There's things that happen here that are just very strange to me. I remember when I was a little girl, I was always perplexed by things of this earth, not in nature, in humanity, in how people treat one another. But this shift has happened. And as each of us comes into ourselves in this very powerful, very beautiful, gentle way, we are having an enormous impact on everything here. Sometimes it's hard to, what's the word? We tend to have this feeling, especially being brought up in this world. We have this feeling that, we have to do something. We have to, the things that come from the mind, that we have to do something to change something. I grew up with that in that era. I called it activism. There was a lot of it when I grew up in Berkeley in the 60s. But the beauty is, there's nothing to do but be yourself. How magic is that? There's no need to hide, which I did for many years of my life. Just be yourself. Enjoy your life. Have the time of your life. I had so much fun with this past week's invitation after David's amazing broadcast yesterday. Go fly a kite. It reminds me of roller skating too. I remember back in the day, I don't roller skate anymore, but when I used to put on a pair of roller skates and you'd be going down the street with your friend and everyone you skate by, everyone instantly has a smile on their face. It's almost like seeing a little puppy. It's like you can't help but smile. Everyone turns into a little kid just to experience you on roller skates, because somehow you put roller skates on and you feel like you're a little kid again. I don't like all sense of how do I look and all of that nonsense goes out the window, and you're just this little kid, maybe awkward, laughing, falling. It's whatever. It's that feeling is what just bubbled up in me yesterday, and among others. But I'm here today to continue to deliver that feeling of fun and lightness and joy and this beautiful childlike innocent nature where there's laughter and love and fun and little mischievousness thrown in. It's the freaking hardest word to say. And that's it. That's it. So with these beautiful flowers that are just smiling behind me, this plant that is going crazy, growing like, I mean, it's just amazing. Even the plants inside, everyone is alive, everyone is happy. So, from our happiness to yours, always the gifts to you are here, will always be here. The beauty of these broadcasts is you can turn and you can go back and watch any of them anytime you like. We have so many. And you can not, or you can watch the next one, or you can not, or you can just go live your life. But the point is that we're all here having the time of our lives. And may you have the time of your life and experience a perfect life, perfect health, and the most magic future beyond your imagination. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I am Genya.